Hi. Okay, well, we're gonna get down to business in a minute, but first we gotta make some spaghetti. Oh yeah. Okay, these noodles are pretty good. I'm not wearing eyelid tape tonight, so you can only see, this eye. You can see both of them though, because I'm not in a cult. So what does it mean? Well, first of all, shout out to Mike Saha. Okay, if Mike Saha is watching, probably not. He's a TI with autism. And when I was high on acid the other day, I was talking about my friend Travis, who has autism, saying that he's retarded. And I personally like people with autism. I felt kind of bad saying that, thinking that Mike Saha might be watching, or even Ava, who has autism. But I don't think she watches my videos. But Mike said that this is not your grandma's vegan food. This is real food. He made fun of vegans, so I was like, okay, well, I'll make fun of people with autism then. But anyway, but I was just making fun of Travis, really. But I love Travis. Okay, so, I hoped that Mike wasn't offended or anything. I hope he doesn't think I don't like him or something. I like him a lot. He's one of the people who, if he's lying, I'm ready to be shot in the head. Same with Ava. If they're faking, if they're gang stalkers, I'm ready to be shot in the head. That's how sure I am that they're not lying. But that's not the business, okay? This is just the preliminary. So we have a little bit more queso. And then we're done with queso. My mom's cheese was going moldy. I was like, are you gonna eat that cheese? She's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, I've just been admiring it for a while. But if you're gonna eat it, then I'm not gonna eat it because that's not vegan. And then yesterday I was like, your cheese is going moldy. She's like, oh yeah. So she starts cutting the mold off of it. So I said, what's going on with that cheese? Can I have some of that cheese if it's going moldy? She said, I probably am going to eat it. I'll just cut the mold off, it's still good. But the queso, you can have a little bit more of that. So you have a whole bucket full of queso. So I made some Rayo's spaghetti tonight. And now this is kind of fucked up because I don't have my eyelid tape. I really don't like being on camera without my eyelid tape. My aunt, she says, don't be so shallow. She says, just, you're not unlovable without eyelid tape. I'm like, oh yes, I am. They're like, no, you don't need it. I was like, well, yes, I do, but I'll meet you in the middle. When I'm not feeling like doing it, I won't do it. And somehow that feels kind of cool too. Tonight is a pretty difficult night for me, okay, because we're going to have to get down to business over here. And this is challenging, and after I do that, I'm going to have nothing to talk about. It's going to be fucked up. I'm scared to get down to business. Okay, I'm scared to be honest here. So definitely get ready, because we're about to have a little bit of a show. I had a word from the Spirit when I was on acid, I said a pivotal moment. I said pivotal moment as I was saying it. As I said the word pivotal, I said, what are you talking about, pivotal? Nothing has changed. What are you talking about, pivotal? You shouldn't have said this word. I was like, oh yeah, and I, by the way, I said, you, not meaning me, Ziba, but it was you, the listener, are going to not realize the effect that this word has on you. But I'm going to realize it. And you shouldn't have said that word. That word is going to have big effect on people. And, you know, we had this teacher named Millen Curry Sharples. He was one of our favorites in college. He was really cool. And he said that the best writers, they wouldn't fight about the script or anything, but they would argue about certain words. About saying, like, because they were so on the same page, they were so synchronized. And I had used the word pivotal for when I was at Brown Social and I was suffering in heartbreak. And so tonight hold on, let me just fix my foreskin restoration device. Tonight I was suffering a little bit. And I said, I have an announcement to make, but I have to think about it for about 10 days because I'm going to regret it. I'm going to say this is not the right thing. And then I said, don't make an announcement. Just talk about your feelings. You want to be really sure before you say anything. Well, you don't have to. Just talk about your feelings. Say, I'm unsure about this. And that's the best thing you can do. One of the things that you enjoy about people is promptness, that you don't keep things secret. Well, I also enjoy this. I also like to tell people how I feel and, you know, not wait an exorbitant amount of time. You know, I like to just do my showmanship, where you say, what business are you talking about? I say, yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, I gotta string you along a little bit as part of the entertainment. Okay, you're supposed to be wondering right now, what are you talking about? You have an announcement, but you're not sure. That's what you're supposed to be doing. I'm entertaining you. Okay, this is part of the gamut. Okay, we have to have some fucking queso spaghetti. This is Rayo's spaghetti. Hey, maybe I won't even say it at all. I never said I'm going to say it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really good. That's amazing. Rayo's is actually better than I realized. Wow. Well, in a sense, there was nothing pivotal. Okay, so what happened at Brown Social? At Brown Social, I lost hope. I lost hope that Dance Girl is ever going to talk to me. And I said, for whatever reason, she's never going to talk to me. Why? I don't know. Is it because she can't? Is it because she wants to? Is it because she doesn't want to? I don't quite know. And to some extent, I thought, even if she tells me she's going to talk to me, she's still not going to. I thought she's just simply not available. Or she's just, you know, not mature. that she'll say, I'll be available, but first you gotta cut your own dick off. Cut your own dick off and then I'm out. She'll do something like that. But she won't just say, let's just meet like normal people. And maybe she's saying, I would meet like normal people, but I can't. In which case it goes both ways. But I can't either. I would meet you by cutting my dick off, but I also can't. Then yesterday, or whenever, I don't know what it was. It was yesterday. I was driving to get my grandma from the auto shop. And they have a girl wearing all white and a cowboy hat walking by Dance Girls Street, which is a sign that I got cream pie pantsed. And I was feeling fucking really upset. I said, okay, this doesn't bother me. I had been going through the proxies with much less care. I was more carefree. I was like, a good proxy, a bad proxy. I've already had that pivotal moment where I've lost hope. And I've cried, and I've cried, and I've cried, and I've cried, and I've cried. And it was really painful, but now I've cried so much that I've already... Now if she says, hey, guess what? I'm fucking some other guy. I go, okay, I've already cried about that. She says, okay, well, I'm going to kill you now, too. And I go, I already cried about that. She goes, but I love you. I go, but I already believed that, and then you didn't show up. And so it's true this time. Well, you never said you were going to show up. So there was an assault truck parked in front of us, and when I woke up, and then behind it, there was a purple I'm sorry car with accident dents on it. No, the last time she gave me an accident car was when we were going to meet at the mall, or when I was going to meet, but she wasn't. So this accident car, I took it as meaning either, sorry for this assault truck is not from me, or I took it as, sorry for standing you up at the mall. Sorry for the whole way things unfolded. Basically, sorry for punishing you for my mistake. Sorry for cheating on you and punishing you for my mistake. And which would that mean, okay, now we can meet? Now we are on for a date? Well, I don't know. I was really happy I wasn't thinking that far. I had lost hope for that. I had thought, no, you're not saying that. You're just saying, sorry for not doing it better. And there was also a yellow car. Yellow means there's something I can't tell you. There's other colors too, I can't remember, like brown. I forget what brown means, because I had wrote out a whole list, but ultimately I think I don't really remember. So if you ever give me brown, I don't really know what that means. But freaking white, and anyways, she has her own way of communicating that I can usually figure things out without me having to say what means what. I mainly say, if you want to tell me something, do it how you think, because that's a better way for me. I can usually figure it out, kind of, but I'm confused here. So I get the I'm sorry car with an accident, which is kind of like, I'm sorry for not meeting you at the mall. I get a whole bunch of I'm sorries on the bridge, like I'm sorry for cheating on you. And I'm sorry for, I don't know what else. I think that was it. And then I say, when I'm on acid, I say, I'm going to just be silent here just to see, what are you saying? Because it was confusing getting that purple car. Why would you say sorry for not meeting you at the mall if the implication isn't, well, now I will meet you? Or if it was just sorry for not meeting you at the mall, but I can't meet you anymore. I'm not allowed for some. And to think about the obvious strangeness of saying, you have to meet me at my house, but only because someone else says. Well, then what else are they in control of? And now I don't think she's saying let's meet at her house. I don't go on her street. And I was thinking she was saying that. She was saying, I'll meet you out on the porch. But then I saw an orange car with a do not enter sign on the back of it. I thought, okay, she's saying don't meet me at my house. But she's saying I'm sorry for not meeting you at the mall. And then, so I'm going to pick up my grandma at the auto store. And when I go by her street, there is a girl wearing a white suit with a white cowboy hat, and she's carrying a black and an orange bag, which means don't go on my street and I cream pie raped you. And then I go pick up my grandma, and I am just furious. I'm thinking, oh great, here I never talked to my grandma, and now I'm in a bad mood. And my grandma is saying, turn right. And instantly I explode in my mind. I go, okay, turning left means going home to drop you off at home. Turning right means you want to drive off into the country somewhere. And I know it's like you're gonna frame it like we're just going home a different way. I know that you're trying to get extra time with me. And I'm fucking zipped. And she says, and when I see this woman in white, I go, oh, whatever. But then it starts playing on me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And this woman is haggard. She looks like haggis. She looks like she's an alcoholic. And she's making me feel old and useless. And I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm getting called haggard. I'm getting double cream pied. What an ugly situation. And I'm trying to laugh it off, and I'm just like fucking really upset. And my grandma says, turn right. Let's go the long way. I go, oh yeah, okay, well nothing matters anyway. And I'm not in a friendly mood at all. And, my grandma's someone who I feel guilty sometimes. She's always telling me, call me, I never call. And freaking, she says, do you want to go eat somewhere? Let's go out for dinner. And I think, okay, yeah, sure. And she says, where do you want to go? Anywhere. And Harvey's? I go, yeah, Harvey's. There's a Harvey's. Let's stop at Harvey's. And so we go in, and the girl who takes the order, she's short, she's nice, and I have a nice interaction with her. I'm angry at the Fairway Harvey's. Okay, I don't like the last time I went to the Harvey's at Fairway, I had this burger, it was not good. So I say, let's go inside, because I don't trust them if they make it through the drive-thru. I want to see them make it. I'm fucking paranoid right here, or rationally afraid that they're going to fuck my burger up. So I go in, my grandma comes in with me, and she says, I'm going to get a coffee. I say, I'm going to get an onion rings and veggie burger combo. And then the guy who makes the burger, he's like 6'7", and he's wearing a mask. And he reminds me of my half-brother. And he says, how may I make your burger today? He's a big, gentle giant. I go, can I have onions and tomatoes and lettuce and ketchup and salt and pepper and a little bit more ketchup? And I'm almost saying pickles, but I'm like, I'm not going to do pickles. And then I'm like, do you guys have a pop machine? And they're like, yeah, it's over there. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so I go fill up the pop with root beer because it has no caffeine. We have a nice meal. Okay, I make eye contact with my grandma for a moment. It's a little bit awkward. You know, I don't make eye contact with people unless it's necessary. And then I rebound it. I make eye contact with her again, where it's like I have my default face. Because, you know, you have resentments towards people, and there's an awkward 1,000-mile stare that you give them. You know, you say, I'm not really going to look at you. I'm going to look like, I don't know if it makes sense. I'm going to look at you instead of look to you. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, you kind of put on a face for them. You don't let them see your real face. I let her see my real face. No resentment. That face. I let her have the real me. Which, of course, she deserves. I love her. If I couldn't give her the real me, it would be my fault. She says, you want another burger? You want to go to another restaurant? I say, no, let's just go. I'm so angry. I'm like, I got fucking double cream pied. I'm fucking really angry. And then I turn out, and this white Volkswagen, and there's a car behind it, they flick a cigarette out. And whether it was a coincidence or not, it makes me say, I forget what I was thinking, but it makes me say, that was from Dance Girl, and she's telling me that I didn't get cream pied. And suddenly, I don't let it change my mood yet. I'm still in a bad mood. I still stay in a bad mood for a while longer. My grandma says, go up here and turn, like as if we're gonna go to the St. Jacob's Market, but turn right. We're gonna go, she goes, do you wanna go the long way or the slow way? We're already going the long way. She goes, do you wanna go the really long way or the half long way? I say, you know, in my mind, I say, I wanna be at home right now, but I'm still fucking trying to be a human being. So I say, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. And she goes, okay, let's go the really slow way. Let's go the very slowest way. And so I go, okay, you know, I want to blow my fucking brains out anyway, so who gives a shit? So, but I, you know, I don't say that. I'm just like, oh, doop, doop, doop. Okay, sure. And so, you know, I drive, you know, the way she says, we go by the airport, and we're seeing these signs that say Fountain Street is closed. And I'm thinking, oh, great. And we finally get past the airport, and the whole thing is closed. And then we got to go, we got to turn around. And she's telling me, do this, do that. And she says, am I being bossy? And I say, I'm not even listening. You know, I'm totally somewhere else in my head. I'm not even here right now. But I don't say it like that. You know, I'm listening enough that I'm coherent. You know, I can maintain a conversation. But you know, I'm getting one-word responses. Oh yeah, uh-huh. Oh, and remember Lucas, and this is where they live. Oh yeah, that's nice. You know, that's all I can say. I'm like forcing myself to talk. And eventually, in my mind, I have these really fucked up ways of dealing with people. Like if someone says, oh, that's where such and such lives. What I want to say is, oh, that's where such and such live. Yes, I hear that that's where such and such live. Like, it's so alien for me to even say anything. So instead I go, oh yeah, really? Uh-huh. But, you know, if I were to just be silent, I'd get interrogated. I used to be silent. When people say statements, I never respond to a statement other than with silence. I never continue it. And, rightfully so. They say, you have a problem. You're really fucking depressed. I go, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Anyway, so we keep driving, and then finally, that person flicking their cigarette out the window, we have to go back all the way, and then we're taking the back way, but a faster version. We're going on all these highways, but not like the highway with like the 4 lanes. It's like a 2-lane highway. One lane going one way, the other lane going the opposite way. And we're in the country, and there's houses on the side of the road. We're saying, would you want to live on a road like this with 80 kilometers an hour? But there are trees everywhere. And I'm starting to become happy. I'm starting to think I didn't get cream pied. Awesome. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, why are you so angry? I'm trying to have this conversation with my grandma. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you got cream pied, so what? Okay, there's lots of people who have it worse than you. And I go, give yourself a break, okay? Getting fucking raped with, like, smelling dog shit or something. Or, like, some guy's fucking cum or some shit like that. You would, like... You should be upset about that. Because that is disturbing. And I said, if she did that to you, think of her as a real jerk. You should be really grossed out. You should be really upset. And give yourself a little permission to feel gag ordered, because there's no one you can really tell about it anyway. So don't be so upset on yourself that you should be in a happy, good mood. This is really disturbing, because until you drove here, you were believing that you weren't cream pied. And, wanting to smell Dance Girl's ass has been, like, one of my main goals in life. And so all that gets taken away, and they're like, yeah, surprise, we fucking tricked you. And her pussy and her piss, and, it was like, her squirt, but, and suddenly it all gets taken away. I got a boner right now, just talking about this. And then suddenly I'm like, no, she didn't rape me. And all of a sudden, within like 1 second, I start enjoying the car ride with my grandma. And I say, what's your least favorite kind of tree? We got willow trees. She says, I like a willow, I like a weeping willow. I say, is there a difference? She says, oh yeah, there's a willow and then a weeping willow. I know, a weeping willow is a dirty tree. People call that a dirty tree. I guess because there's sap on it or something sticky, or if you park your car under it, it'll be full of like weird stuff. I say my favorite tree, I know that my favorite tree is the weeping willow. But you know what else I like? Is a magnolia. And she says, yeah, those are really beautiful. And I say, and then I got a third kind. You can see them on Manitoulin Island. And there's something very distinct about the bark. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to guess? And I said, it's not an oak. She says, I love oaks. I go, yeah, me too. Oaks are really good. An oak tree is a quality tree. So is a maple. But a maple is not much compared to an oak. And and it's not about size, okay? There are, a magnolia is not that big. Neither is a willow. A willow is pretty big though. I say, what's the worst kind of tree? Is there any kind of tree that totally sucks? And I say, these trees look pretty bad. I don't like that tree right there. She said, I don't know what kind of tree that is. And I say, well, do you have any guesses what kind of tree I like? My third favorite kind of tree, which might be my first. It's the first tree I ever liked. Before I even knew I liked trees. Before I liked a willow, and before I liked a magnolia, this was my very favorite kind of tree. She said, don't tell me. I said, okay. Well, I'll give you a hint. We see them at Manitoulin Island. We don't see any here. And something about the bark is very different. This tree has different bark than any other kind of tree. I say, it's a birch tree. She goes, oh yeah, we used to love those when we were kids. I said, oh yeah, I'll bet, because you can burn the bark. The bark is like super flammable. And you can use the bark as paper. You can write on it. And she says, are you going to Jessica's wedding? And I say, no, she broke my Game Gear when she was 5. And she goes, your Game Gear? Where? Yeah, but are you going? Why aren't you going to the wedding? I said, because she broke my Game Gear when she was 5. And she like bursts out laughing. And she says, no, you're joking. And I say, no, I'm not. She says, that's really sick. She laughs a lot. And then she says, that's not like you. You shouldn't not go to someone's wedding because I said, I really liked that Game Gear. And she said, you're carrying a grudge for all these years. I said, no, I'm not carrying a grudge, but I'm not going to go to our wedding. And, everyone else, Helen's coming back from Halifax. And, I didn't tell her, and she lied about it later on. I didn't say that. She just said, that's really funny, but that's ridiculous. I was like, well, that's as ridiculous as fucking breaking my fucking Game Gear. But anyway, so then we go by this butterfly sanctuary, and she's like, oh, I hate this place. I was like, yeah, me too. It's too humid in there. I can remember going there when I was a kid. I didn't like that place. And, she says, do you want to go out? We were going to go down to Speedsville Road. I'm going to get to the business in a minute, okay? She says, do you want to go down to Speedsville Road? I think, yeah, let's go. But then she's like, it was just there. She's like, it's not worth turning around. It's not that good of a drive. I was like, okay. I say, and she's manic. She said, you're such a breeze to be with. It's such a nice atmosphere with you. I said, I know, because I was feeling a lot better at that point. And I said, the only thing that's wrong with me is I'm depressed sometimes. And she said, yeah, me too. I have been depressed for 15 months. And now I'm manic. And it's wonderful. And I said, well, one of the things that I really want to do with you is take acid. And, I offer her acid countless times, and she always says no. She says, do you want to go for a long drive? I say, well, no. But do you want to do some acid? Well, it's the same thing. You don't want to do acid, you know. She says, I'm already so high. I don't need that. And I say, I don't want to go for a longer drive. I want to get home. And so we're going over this bridge, and then there's this guy wearing green pants riding a bike. I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? And then again, near a bridge, another guy wearing the same color scheme riding a bike. And I'm thinking, is that an apology for the purple towel on the bridge at Victoria Park with the girl wearing white shorts and a purple shirt saying, I got cream pied by some other guy, and now she's like, I'm single now, just so you know. Like, I'm not cheating on you now, just so you know. Or was she saying, I don't know, I didn't steal your bike? I wasn't exactly sure what it meant, but I figured that it was a good sign. It was something in the way of I love you. And then, so I'm feeling pretty confident then. I'm feeling pretty happy. And then, so I drop my grandma off. She gives me $40. I say, oh, you don't have to do that. As she, you know, as she's getting money, and she says, why are you broke? And I say, well, I am kind of broke because I just bought $100 of drugs, but I had forgotten that I had just got a $111 check too. So I felt bad because she gave me $40. She probably wouldn't have given me that much if I didn't say that. And she doesn't even have enough money for a new car. Like, she has to save to get a new car. And she took the bus to our house. And then she drove her car to the auto place. And now it's at the auto place. They're seeing if they could fix it because her car is all fucked up. And she had a scooter with her with purple wheels. I was like, oh my God. And she was like, literally, she like took a scooter. She drove her scooter to the, like a push scooter, not an electric scooter, like to the automotive place. She took 3 buses, and she likes doing that kind of stuff, you know, but it's kind of weird when your family member doesn't even have a car. You know, I don't know. But she's like, yeah, I like doing that, and I'll buy a new car. I'll just have to save up for one. You know, it's pretty sad that we lost our old mechanic, Roy, who I almost had a smoke with one time. And I don't smoke, but he offered me a smoke. I thought, coming from Roy, you know, and he'd call me Josh, and I would never correct him. I'd always just go, yeah, I'm Josh. And, you know, he was really great. And, you know, at my aunt's house, they have a picture of Roy, but they don't have a picture of me. You know, they got pictures of everyone, but not me. And, you know, I think it's because I made them a big picture with my face, and it said, I'm better than you. I printed it off, and I just hung that on their wall for them. And, you know, I don't think they ever had a picture of me before, but certainly it made me feel like a black sheep a little bit. I mean, whatever, you know, I play guitar at the family party and someone turns the radio up, but I never know who it is. Someone does it from the other room, you know, but I got like really, really friendly people in the family who love me. You know, I got like really good friends within the family, but I'm sure I'm not that popular among everyone. I don't know. Oh, my water's boiling. So anyway, I get back to the neighborhood, and as I'm going down Franklin Street, I see a guy on a red bike with special handlebars, like I've been looking on Amazon for. They're called ape hanger handlebars. And I see another guy wearing a red M&M's shirt walking by the cemetery. And the guy with the ape hanger handlebars is right by him. And he has a red bike and he's wearing a red shirt. And the guy with the M&M's is wearing a red shirt with a red M&M on it. And 3 reds means I love you. And it also meant that was not a rape pants. That was authentic dance girl. I thought, thank you for confirming it. I had been very worried. I had been very upset. And I feel much better. Far better. And that totally cheered me up. It totally made me happy. And I never took it as anything more. I never, because I had gotten the yellow, it did cross my mind that why did I have to gray wall, gray rock the proxies in order to get this response? Why did I have to leave, in a sense, in order for her to say, oh, you know what? I love you. I'm sorry. What, like, is, but, and that kind of pissed me off. I kind of thought, is this just performative? But only a little bit. Only on the sides. In the middle, in the main, I thought, yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I had no expectation that she would meet me ever. I thought all she's saying is, remember the yellow the day after the cemetery date? That means there's something I can't tell you. Remember the orange saying don't enter? That means even if you come to my house, I can't be with you. I can't be with you. But I love you, and I'm sorry. And I didn't steal your bike, or, if it's I'm single, I don't know what the meaning of that would be. And this leads me to the I'm not sure part. Hold on, I have to put this muff in my hair. I'm not sure what this means. If she was telling me that she's not with anyone as a way of saying she's with me, I wouldn't understand why she would say that, considering that she can't meet me anyways. Does she just want that we're both single forever and we just talk through proxies forever? Because that would be a little bit ridiculous. Okay, I have to make some noodles. I'm a little bit congested all of a sudden. Oh yeah, and there's more too. Okay, I also saw a girl under the bridge wearing turquoise with purple shorts, but other kind of colors shorts too. I thought, oh, is that from Blonde Girl? But why would it be purple? What is that? What is she saying sorry for something? What would she be saying sorry for? I don't think she owes me any apologies. I don't know what she'd be saying sorry for. So I didn't understand that. I thought, is that from Louise? I was like, I don't understand the meaning of that. Was she saying it was TSD who had those kids hit on your window after you went on Eastwood, through the Eastwood parking lot? And sorry about that? That's what I thought. I thought it was either Blonde Girl or Louise saying that was TSD who made those kids attack your house because you went in the Eastwood parking lot. But it wasn't us. And I'd think, oh, I know. I don't think that you would do that. And, but, sometimes it's nice to hear that, because I didn't think Dance Girl Cream Pie raped me. But then when someone told me she did, then I thought she did. So sometimes it's nice to hear those things. But I also worry for Blonde Girl and for Dance Girl, that if someone tells me some bad shit that you guys do, and that you'll feel like it's your responsibility to correct them. And I felt like saying, I trust you guys that you haven't been putting gum in my hair. And if someone tries to tell me that you guys have been sending people to attack our house or something. I already trust it's not you guys. And so, but it was nice. It was nice to, well, I never thought it was Blonde Girl anyway who did that, or Louise. But I thought I kind of wondered if it was Louise too. Because Louise showed up with the dog right after they hit on our windows. And I've been pretty good at not being scared. And, it's strange because before that happened, I had not jacked off for 7 days. And I said, I had a weird premonition. I said, something bad is going to happen if you jack off. And don't do it. Don't do it, because you're bound by spiritual law. And when you're high on your spirit, the enemy can't attack you. Not in the same way. Because the enemy is plugged into you, but they're weaker than you. For example, what you would like to do is illegal, but you have the strength to not do that. Even when you jack off, you have the strength to not do that. The enemy, who is reading your thoughts, doesn't have the strength. And this is what Osho says. Beware your thoughts, because someone weaker than you is going to get your thought, and you have the strength not to act on that thought. But when someone weaker than you gets your thought, they don't have the strength to not act on it, and they will act on it. And the lower you put yourself spiritually, the more nasty your thoughts. If you're really high, if you're vibing high, and someone offends you, your first thought isn't to throw them in a volcano. Your first thought is, that has nothing to do with me. I'm so happy that I have a life. Or, I hesitate to say I have a life, because oftentimes I don't. But you have to figure out, too, that a lot of times you don't have a life because you're not taking care of yourself. Because you're not really trying your best. And you're kind of bitter about that. You kind of think, well, I shouldn't have to try my best. But, because it's actually pretty scary to try your best. You were talking about that when you're on acid. You were like, it's so easy to give 99% where you hold something back. But to give your all to a person is terrifying. But to give your all to God, or in non-metaphysical bullshit terms, to try your very best in general, to life in a general sense, that you don't be lazy, you don't be lousy. If you have a fitness goal, you know, as Tyler Durden says from Real Social Dynamics, you should rather die than miss a day at the gym. To have a certain level of trying your absolute hardest to reach your goals, and then you risk actually failing. Whereas if you never try, you could say, well, I never really failed because I never really tried. It's actually a lot of courage it takes to try your best. So anyways, I come home, I get this I love you from Dance Girl. I go, I haven't gotten I love you from her in probably 6 months or a year or something. You know, this is very special. And I'm overjoyed about it. I'm very, very happy. I think, okay, not only did I not get cream pied, I got one of the best gifts of my life, something I cherish, and something that, you know, and I got an I love you from her too, which is also one of the best gifts of my life. Something that it was a dream. It was a dream come true. And I thought, you know, you're so grateful. You know, can you just be happy that you know her? That you both exist? just be happy that you know her. You know, she, as far as I know, she's saying, I'm not allowed to be with you. And I had wondered it when I drove by her house. There was this gray Audi. I wondered if that was her handler, who she has to report to. I wondered if I had, on the spirit realm, found the person preventing our love. But anyway, that gray Audi was parked next door to us the day after. I thought they were probably making a rounds to our neighbor, who is still friendly. Okay, I'm just checking these noodles. But you have to be that ungrateful. You know, I think of my grandma. Her husband died when she was, I don't know how old she was, but when he was in his 30s, like his early 30s. And if she had even indirect communication with him, I'm sure she'd be very happy. I thought, shouldn't you be very happy that you love Dance Girl and she loves you? Isn't that something you should celebrate? You go, no, but we gotta be together. Aren't you just happy with what is? I thought, yeah, you're right. You're right. I thought you should start searching her name in YouTube. Search her name every day on YouTube in hopes that she'll make a YouTube channel. You know, but just be happy that she exists. Be happy that she loves you. And I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Where is the... Now, this morning there was a... Okay, so what's the business part? What's the part you're not sure about? The part I'm not sure about is she ever going to meet me anyways? Yeah, that I don't know. That I don't really think she is. I don't really know what the meaning of these bikes were. These two people on bikes. And what's the other thing I'm unsure about? The other thing I'm unsure about is whether to say, and now I want Blonde Girl and the fourth also. And perhaps Louise and Joanne. Because Dance Girl cheated, and therefore I'm going to be polyamorous now forever. And that Dance Girl would like that. You know, I had this conversation in my head. I said, you know, my age of consent is 18 now. And to Blonde Girl and the fourth, Dance Girl is going to be really fucking mad when I say this. And I'm going to need a lot of love from the both of you. Because Dance Girl is going to try to fucking kill me when I say this. And I'm going to need you guys to support me and tell me that you love me and that you're here for me. Because Dance Girl's going to be really fucking mad. And also that Dance Girl has a problem with sharing. That I have a suspicion that Blonde Girl and the fourth are both capable of sharing. But Dance Girl has problems with that. Dance Girl can only share with someone who she thinks of as beneath her, as someone who she is a handler to. And she goes, you can have a threesome, but it only has to be the girl I choose. And I just choose someone who I have a grip on. And whereas my suspicion, and it kind of seems this way, is that if I were to say to Blonde Girl and to the fourth and to Dance Girl, I love you all the same amount, that Blonde Girl and the fourth could say that's cool. And if Blonde Girl and the fourth and Dance Girl say that they have another boyfriend who they love as much as me, then I also can say that's cool. Because I love my mom and Helen the same amount, and my grandma. And they love me the same amount as each other. And so I know what it feels like to not be the favorite, but also not to be the lesser than. And I think Dance Girl is not retarded, because Dance Girl said sorry for cheating on you by having a girl wearing purple who was retarded. And she was saying, I was retarded for cheating on you. And I wanted to say, you actually weren't retarded for cheating on me. I was retarded for putting improper rules. You were actually much wiser. You were actually following nature. And you prefer this. You don't know it yet, but you actually do prefer having no restrictions. And intuitively, you know that love is additive and not subtractive, and that it doesn't take anything, but to put restrictions on is subtractive. And this is better for everyone, and this is part of your compassion. The reason why you cheated is because you're compassionate. That other guys will miss out on you otherwise, and other girls will miss out on me. And that's not loyal to Blonde Girl or the fourth. For example, the fourth got me through some really difficult times. Now, I don't think the fourth is cute Giovanna on Reddit anymore, and I think she apologized for that, because I was like, the fourth, you only didn't sexually assault me because you showed me your naked self on the fucking Reddit. Otherwise, you have not really given me enough to compensate for the fact that you watched me in the shower. And then the fourth pulled her car in our driveway to say, I'm sorry. And the fourth also saved me the first month I was with Dance Girl when she was cucking me. And when I was driving to the mall for our date, there was a gray Nissan driving behind us. And I was imagining crying to the fourth. And I was imagining that we were all a family. And I was having trouble with Dance Girl. And the fourth was there comforting me. And I was like, thank you, I needed that. I really fucking needed that. You made it so much better. Thank you so much. And, you know, I wanted to say, this is the part I'm unsure about, because I don't know what Dance Girl was even saying. I wanted to say that we should all live together. Eventually. And, you know, and this is best for everyone. This is best for everyone, because I'm an old man, and, you know, 3 of these pigs are young, and they should have, you know, whoever they like. They shouldn't be stuck with some old fart like me. But at the same time, I was thinking, so here would be my rules. Okay, I'm not sure I'm saying this. This is just what I'm considering saying, okay? So, and I think Dance Girl's gonna freak if I say this, but this is, what else can I do? This is how I feel. Okay, this is how I feel. I'm not putting this on to be a jerk here. So my rules would be, you sleep with whoever you want, and please don't tell me about it. And if you want me to know about it, then it should be one of my friends. But otherwise, only be with me if you're cool with each other. So it's a package deal. If you want to be with me, the plan is that we're going to live together, probably in this house eventually. And so it's going to be all of us living together. And so it's going to be me and you guys. And then if you want to have other boyfriends, you do that on your own. You just go out to their house, and no one will ever ask you, where were you last night? Did you fuck some guy? No one will ever do that. Stubert, you're too much. So you have to be cool with each other. And you have to be cool that I love you all the same. You have to be cool with sharing. And I've gotten over myself enough that I can do that. If you tell me that you like some other guy, like, not that I'd want to hear it, but if that were to happen, I can handle that, because I know what it's like to love multiple family members. And to some extent, I've loved Blonde Girl and The Fourth for a while. But I usually don't talk about that, because I don't want to make Dance Girl mad. And I thought, I'll sacrifice The Fourth and I'll sacrifice Blonde Girl to be with Dance Girl. But then I thought, okay, Stu, you got some fucking shit on your tail. But then, hold on, Stu, he needs a baby wipe, really. Okay. Yeah, you... Stu, you're so gross. I have to watch my spaghetti or he's gonna eat that. Yeah, I need another pop. So, yeah, sharing is caring, and love is additive, not subtractive. And, and Dance Girl doesn't know that she also prefers this. That everyone has their freedom then. And freedom is the highest value. Dance Girl's almost there. She's cool with sharing, but only someone she picks. Now, I was a little bit unsure. Here's why I was unsure. Because part of why I'm saying this is because I already believe that Dance Girl's never going to talk to me anyway. And so I don't even have anything to lose anyway. Hi, Stu. I don't know what those bikes meant. What do you want, Sil? And here's the other part. I don't even necessarily believe that the fourth and blonde girl are going to talk to me. For all I know, that might just be nonsense. They might just be playing me, or it might be someone else. As for Louise, she might have a husband for all I know. But, you know, then Joanne, I think she broke up with me. And then Stella, I think Stella hates me. You know, the difference, our tenant harasses me all the time, but it never bothers me because she's my friend. So it doesn't matter. I know she doesn't hate me. With Stella, I have no idea. I more think she hates me. Yes, Stu. Shut up, Stu. So, I mean, what really happened? I just stopped believing that Dance Girl was ever going to talk to me. And I stopped crying at the thought of her being with someone else. I was like, I already think that. If she tells me she's going to cheat on me, I already think she's cheating on me. Or I already think she's not going to talk to me. Or I already think that. Like, I feel like I tried monogamy and it didn't work. Why would she be mad anyway? It's not like she's ever going to talk to me anyway. And this way I feel like I'm not letting Blonde Girl down. I'm not letting the fourth down. Even if they let me down. At least I didn't let them down. And I didn't let Dance Girl down either. Dance Girl should understand more than anyone. Like, Dance Girl's like super into cheating. Well then there you go. Clearly, if you could have sex with other guys, but I'm still your boyfriend, then you understand it's not a big deal. Like, you know, it doesn't mean I'm not your boyfriend. Like, I can be your boyfriend and then just sleep with other guys. You know, so like, fucking everyone has their thing, you know? You know, everyone has their stats. You know, the fourth, she has a nice butt. Blonde Girl has a nice face. Dance Girl has a balance. You know, Louise has even more points in her face. Blonde Girl is like 7 points in face, you know, and then 3 in body. Louise is like 9 points in face, 1 in body. The fourth is like 9 points in body, or like 7 points in body, 3 points in face. Dance Girl is like 5 points in body, 5 points in face. But they all add up to a 10. And so they're all better than each other in different ways. And so, you know, sometimes you want this, sometimes you want that. And as a girl, you'll want that too, like clearly. And so, you know, I don't see how it's not better, you know, especially considering the age gap, that they're going to want guys who are their own age too. And I can be the fucking dirty old man. But, you know, I wouldn't feel right restricting them and saying, you got to just suck on my saggy old balls. You know, that would be horrible. That would be horrible. You know, you should have your freedom, of course. And it doesn't offend me. You know, I don't want to be cucked. I don't want to hear about it. You know. Of course, it has nothing to do with me. So I think if you love me, if you want to be with me, Blonde Girl, Dance Girl, and the fourth, possibly some others, come as a package deal. That's what I'm considering saying. That's kind of how I'm feeling. I have a feeling everyone will be cool with this except Dance Girl. Dance Girl might need a bit of time to come around to it. And I frankly don't want to get my feelings hurt. I mean, I'm afraid now. I'm very afraid of what she's going to do in response. That she's going to hurt my feelings. That she's going to be really mean. And at the very least, she's going to say, I don't like you anymore. You know, I really don't want that. Anyways, so I'm thinking of becoming super hot, not jacking it again. And you know, I tried monogamy, and why didn't it work? I didn't like it. And was it Dance Girl's fault? No, Dance Girl didn't do anything wrong. I tried it and it didn't work for me. Well, she's going to say, clearly you're blaming me. You said I cheated and that's why. No, Dance girl cheating is the excuse that I'm using to be polyamorous. Because it's better. I really do love the fourth and blonde girl. I really do keep it secret. I really say, you know what, blonde girl and the fourth, too bad. I love dance girl. I don't want to lose her. Therefore, I'm not going to talk about that I love you guys. But the way I'd honestly end my videos is I love you, dance girl, I love you, blonde girl, and I love you, the fourth. And I love you, Louise. And potentially some other ones. That's really how I'd end my videos. And it took a long time of crying about dance girl with other guys before I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care. And whereas the fourth and blonde girl, if they were with other guys, I would never even care to begin with. I'd be like, good. I'm happy for you. I wish I could get laid too. I'm happy for my cousin. Like, she has this boyfriend who she just, like, I was jealous at the beginning. Not in a possessive way, but like just jealous. Why do you get to have fun and I don't? But I was like happy for her. You know? And finally I stopped caring. With dance girl, I'm like, fine, then go ahead. Then cheat on me. Then go ahead. I don't care. Finally I was like, I can't do anything about it anyway. And then once I cried enough, I'm like, well, what's stopping me now from just having a bunch of pigs? It's just that I'm afraid of losing dance girl. But I already don't think dance girl's even going to talk to me anymore. I think she loves me, but I don't think she's going to actually be with me. So what does it matter anyway? So that's how I got the courage. I thought, you know, give her some time because she's gonna be really angry, but she might see it in a different way eventually. Let her try to find someone better than you. And if she can't do it, then she'll come back. So this is kind of what I'm leaning towards. I have like some work to do. You know, I want to do a water fast, you know, and I'm not really sure how available I am. You know, which is also one of the benefits of saying, well, then just date someone else. But, you know, I kind of want to do a water fast. I'm not really sure if I'm good boyfriend material right now. Like, if I just want to work on myself and be single for a while. I'm not exactly sure about that. I'm open to that. But part of me was thinking, is that just postponement, you know? I'm not exactly sure, but, you know, I've always said to be in a relationship, I need to be sober, which means not jacking off. And as of today, I'm jacking off. So, you know, I think I might stop jacking off and start water fasting and get my super hot body. And then I'll be ready for a relationship. I don't know what those bikes meant. You know, I may not have said this if I knew what those bikes meant. Because Dance Girl might say, oh, so I cheated, so therefore this is why you're saying that. Well, it's also because I don't even know if you're ever going to talk to me. And so what do I even have to lose? If she was like, but I am going to talk to you. I did cheat, and I am sorry. And it was a misunderstanding. And now I'm going to talk to you. And now be exclusive with me. That may have changed things. But I don't, that's kind of why I'm unsure of saying this. But I do know that if she said that, I would just not talk about Blonde Girl and the fourth. I would still love them. I just wouldn't talk about them. I'd just say, sorry, you guys get sacrificed. That's what I'd say. And I'd feel guilty about that. I'd feel like I'm not a real man. Like I'm pathetic. And like I've betrayed them. But, you know, but otherwise I'd feel like I betrayed Dance Girl. You know, so it's a really tricky situation. But then again, if Blonde Girl and the fourth are willing to share, why isn't Dance Girl willing to share? I'm willing to share too. I'm willing to say, Dance Girl, if you find a guy you like better than me, go ahead and be with him. If you find a guy you like as much as me, be with him also. I don't gotta be favorite. I wanna be one of the favorites, but I don't have to be the very favorite. And I only know how that works because I love my mom and I love Helen. And I love my grandma. And I know what it's like. That if I had to say which one do I love the most, I'd say I love you all in different ways. And I know that you feel the same about me. So I don't care if some other guy has bigger muscles than me or something, then, you know, that's cool. Then that's a different kind of, you got a different kind of release with that guy. And you need that variety. You know, you guys are young, and so you have your whole life to experience different guys, and you have to experience a whole bunch of different guys. You should have that. You know, I would feel guilty to take that away from you. And, you know, I would feel guilty to abandon certain ones of you. Even if it means that I lose all of you. That Dance Girl was the only one who would have loved me. And I say, well, I'm not going to abandon and then none of them love me. I go, well, at least I didn't be a shyster. At least I did it the real way. At least I was loyal to all of them. And, even if that means losing all of them. Do I even think they're going to love me? Not really. Do you know how many bike rides I've went on and Dance Girl was never there? Okay. I've given Dance Girl like 80 chances to see me, and she's just never there. And then finally she's like, yeah, I couldn't because yellow, because there's something I can't tell you. So I'm like, okay, well, I love you too, Dance Girl. And I'm sorry that something is preventing us from being together. I hope that our love is enough to make you happy. It makes me happy. I'm very happy knowing you love me. And so don't say, oh, it's because I cheated and therefore, no, it's because I didn't like monogamy. But you didn't like monogamy because I cheated? No, I didn't like monogamy because I wasn't able to tell other girls that I love them. Because I do love other girls. And I also love you, Dance Girl. Monogamy is the Titanic. It's not a healthy, it's part of the old earth paradigm. Having to be better than someone else is the old earth paradigm. So we're all going to live together in this house. Or somewhere else. Or I can do gay webcamming and try and get my own place and try and make it happen sooner. I don't know. But this is what I want to do. And there's a tiny but. This is what I want to do. But I don't really know what those bikes meant. That would have influenced me a little bit if I would have. But at the same time, part of me is saying, I don't even believe anything anyways. Because Dance Girl has to get a space sting before she even says something. Like before Dance Girl says, sorry for cheating on you, first I have to give her a space sting. And then she says, oh, now I get it. And so if she says, okay, I'll meet you now, I'd be like, you're probably not even going to meet me unless I give you a space sting. And even then, who knows? Like, I don't even know sometimes. Dance Girl is really difficult. But I still love her. Obviously, of course. I'll always love Dance Girl. It's very hard for me not to say Dance Girl's my favorite. I think we have the most history. It's also hard for me to say that too, that Dance Girl is my favorite. I also think get rid of this whole primary and secondary stuff. That's not good. And the way that I really am able to get rid of that is I thought, what if Dance Girl likes someone else as much as she likes me? I thought, okay, that's cool. I can handle that. I thought that's totally fine with me. I was already in love with Graylin, and Graylin was, I mean, with Travis, but she loved both of us. I was like, that's cool. Graylin and Din Venom's ex-Pig had sex in front of me. And, you know, I didn't feel like, oh, she loves Travis more. I felt like she loves both of us. And it was great. I love Travis too. I was like, I love all of us. We're all a family. And that's kind of what I want to have. Like, I want to have like a family of pigs. And Dance Girl is so close. She's like, I'm cool with sharing, but only with a girl who I choose. I'm like, that's pretty close, Dance Girl. I think you already get it. I think on the spirit level, Dance Girl is insisting that it's being done this way. Dance Girl is saying, this is the way to do it. There's no other way to do it. So since the fourth has apologized for not being cute to Giovanna, I bump her up from owl level to eagle level. And, you know, what else is there to say? This is really scary for me. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, there's going to be so much bullshit. Even if it doesn't come from Dance Girl, it's going to come from someone. But if it's coming from TSD, he should be happy about this. You know, that was one of the most shocking things. I said to Blonde Girl, like, right before the last time I saw TSD, I said something to Blonde Girl, I forget what it was. Like, see you on the trails or something. And then TSD shows up. As if to say that's never going to happen. I thought, you are really bad. You are really fucking bad here. You are not invited by Blonde Girl to be doing this. You're interfering. And it's not on behalf of her that you're doing it. This leaves room for Chelsea to come back as well. This leaves room for Joanne, and you know, I don't think Stella can ever be one of Din Venom's pigs. I think Stella hates me. I kind of think I hate Stella too. But just hypothetically, if she did love me, she would have no way of showing that. I don't think she could get out of her situation. I think she's in her situation for life. And so there's no point in talking about her, really. I mean, she wore purple and, yeah, I appreciate that. But I only want to have a relationship in real life. So if you're giving me proxies, I'm going to expect that we're going to be together in real life at some point. And that we're going to be together forever, which is the only way I'd ever be with someone. And obviously breakups happen, but I mean, the intent has to be that we're always going to be together. Like, we're going to live together. That's what I would like. Now, as for it doesn't matter. Okay, this is stupid. But as for cooking, yeah, go ahead and be not vegan. I'm vegan, but if people want to be non-vegan, go ahead. And I don't even like saying that, because you're gonna say, the fact that you would even give me permission assumes way more control than I would ever let you have. If you actually tried to tell me what I could and couldn't eat in your house, in our house, I would never be part of your house anyway. So the fact that you give me permission is offensive. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, I hear you. Point taken. And anyways, so that's about all the business I had to talk about. I'm going to do acid again on Monday, and I'm really excited for that. I'm probably going to start water fasting soon. I was thinking I might go to the strip club, but probably not. I feel worried that Dance Girl is going to be hurt by this. I have a lot of empathy with Dance Girl. You know, Dance Girl makes me so angry sometimes. And at other times, she walks on water. She's like the softest baby sometimes. Like if she cries, I just want to cry. But I'm not abandoning Dance Girl. So, you know, if she's like, fuck you, I could be like, Dance Girl, you can live with me forever. And you know I would never abandon you for anyone. Think about it like that, Dance Girl. That this makes you trust me more. That this is the only way that you know that I'll never abandon you. That this is actually a better way. This is a more human way. Anyways, so I'm just watching some mountain biking. Well, we should bring up one more thing. What about Pink? And what about Garden? What about them? Anyways, so that doesn't change. Nothing changes about Pink and Garden. Basically, being a parent is a job for a mother. I'm myself with everyone, so I would never be raising a baby anyways. I'm cool to live in the same house as a baby. I think adopting is much cooler. But to all of Dinvem's pigs, if you really want to have a bio baby, you can have it with someone else, and then you can raise it in our house, or we can adopt one together, and you could raise it in our house. It's not really my job to raise a baby. That's on you anyways. That's a mother's responsibility. But I'm a good person. Like, I'm a family man. I enjoy family. So I'm down. But I can't promise. I think I'm down. You know, we would have to see how things go. But if you're able to live with me and we get along for a long time, then clearly, if you clone yourself, your clone is going to be able to get along too. So we can have like a big family. I've already retired. Again, taking care of a baby's needs is your job as a mother. I might have money at some point, but I've pretty much retired. I'm pretty much poor. I'll always have a car. I'll always have a house. I'll never depend on you for anything. You can always live with me. I'm pretty sure I retired. I retired when I was 28. And so I don't want to go back to work. Okay, that's just terrible. I don't think I can do it. I'll have my volunteer jobs here and there, you know, and I'll get sober. I might get a hot body. I might do gay porn, like solo porn. And, you know, and that's about where I'm at. Now, Case Dance Girl says, but all this happened because of a misunderstanding. No, even before our first date, I was stopping myself from looking at pig stumpers. I wanted to look, but I didn't. Even then, it was wearing on me. So don't blame yourself, Dance Girl. Penises have heads because they're plungers to pull out other men's cum. Sex is a group thing. So, you know, the culture has nothing to do with the species. And nature wins. Nature is superior. And, you know, they say if you have a choice, take the hard choice. This is the hard choice. But this is the one I feel better about. Anyway, this is fucking scary, okay? Just because I feel it doesn't mean Dance Girl does. I'm very afraid of Dance Girl leaving me. But in another sense, I've already cried about it. But then I'm very afraid that she says, even though we're never going to be together anyways, now I don't love you anymore. And I'm afraid of her taking that away from me. But with a serial monogamist, you're always going to be wondering if they're going to leave you for someone else. With me, there's not that worry. I felt it with Chelsea a lot. I felt she loved me, but she couldn't give up who she was with. I thought, you fucking coward. Then I turned out to be the same. And then Travis too. I said, you know, you're such a prick. You're going to dump Caitlin for Graylin. You've been with Caitlin for fucking 6 years or something. And then Graylin comes along, you just dump her. Because Graylin insists. I turned out to be the exact same. It never sat right with me. And the final fucking boss was, but I could never accept if Dance Girl loved someone else. You know, I just couldn't. And then finally I was like, yeah, I could. Yeah, I actually could. And why? Because I don't have to be your favorite. Why not? Because I love Helen and my mom. They're both my favorite. And now I understand what that's like. I used to only love people in a hierarchy. That whoever's oldest is the best. My grandma is the best. She's the wisest. And then this person, and then that person. It was always favorite. Who's number one? Who's number two? Who's number three? Who's number four? Etc. And finally, I was like, I love you all. I love you all more than each other. My grandma's more wise. My cousin is more easy to get along with. You know, she doesn't tell you how to live. My grandma gives more money. She gets, you know, she's a better gift giver. My mom is more easygoing. Or, you know, everyone has their superpowers. Everyone has their different, you know, one person's pizza, one person's steak, one person's this, one person's that. Everyone has their own thing. And so why should I be like the number one in every category? Why should I have to sit higher than someone else? Why should I have to be the favorite? I always wanted to be the favorite. I wanted to be my dad's favorite. I wanted to be everyone's favorite. But everyone wants to be the favorite. Now I have favorites, but among them, I couldn't say who I like the most. Like with my mom or my grandma or my cousin. Or Todd. You know, they're all next level. Or Travis. Travis is like Todd. Like he's like Todd level. Or Topher or Nathan. Or Graylin or Din Venom's ex-pig. You know, all this monogamy stuff, this fighting that happens because of it, it's all about you want to be special. But if you're really special, you already feel special. You could already say we're already a family. Like, who do you love more, your mom or your dad? Well, they're different. They're completely different. You go for advice from the person who's going to tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes you say, I have to talk to my dad about this. Sometimes you say, I have to talk to my mom about this. So, you know, it's no different for you too. You don't have to be like full of yourself or something. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to be deeply disturbed that I said all this. You know, Stella and Jamie are going to honk. I won't be too upset about that. There'll be phone calls I get, harassing phone calls. I won't be too upset about that. There'll be some cars parked out front that are there to threaten, or there to say, no one loves you. Yeah, I've already accepted this as a possibility. I thought, just be loyal to yourself, you know. And Din Venom's ex-pig cheated on me. She left me for someone else. That really hurt me. And he wanted to keep Pearl for himself. And she wanted to keep me all for herself. She didn't leave me because I was with other people. She left me because I was just basically a loser, I guess. I was always getting high, but really, she left me because I was miserable, and it was her who was making me miserable. She was a real hypocrite. She was never mean, but she was very abusive. I couldn't see it. I didn't know what abuse looked like. I mean, obviously I knew what abuse looked like, but there were certain forms of it that I couldn't understand. Like, she'd come home with a bra in her purse and say, oh yeah, I was in the hot tub with some guys. I was like, you weren't going to tell me that. And then she'd start crying, oh, I'm so sorry, I should have told you. But then she'd just do the same thing over and over. I didn't understand that that's abuse. You know, she's like, but I'm really crying, I'm really sorry. I was like, yeah, I know, but I didn't understand. That's like, you know, her intent, it doesn't change the effect it has on me. Just because she's not self-aware doesn't mean that her actions don't hurt me the same as if she was. So I always just made excuses for her. Anyways, I think that's everything I got. I gotta lose some weight, and you know, apparently you can't be happy when you're fat because you're always inflamed. And so I'm gonna try to get healthy, I guess. I'm gonna try a water fast at some point, probably soon. Like, I should be starting it yesterday. I've been beating my game. I've been playing Ride 4. I found out there's a front brake and a back brake. And now I've been winning lots of levels. And I'm pretty far into the game now. It's still challenging, but I think I can beat the game at this point. And I'm still looking forward to playing the street levels. You know, the street levels, like, they have racing track levels, and you have to beat those first, but eventually you can play levels like riding on the street, like in the city. And that's what I really want to play. So I'm kind of excited. I really like this game. It's actually turning out to be one of my favorite games. And I might even try playing MotoGP 17 again, since now I know that you have a back brake and a front brake. I only have been using the front brake, I think. At least on Ride 4. I don't know what one I was using on MotoGP. So, anyways, I think for living together, I think it should be capped at 5 people. Live with a maximum of 5 pigs. And so we have 2 spots open still. And, otherwise, if we go beyond that, then, too much is never enough, but there's only so many people you can live with. And I'm probably going to live another 60 years. So we got lots of time to figure things out. We have long lifelines in our family. I could probably live to my late 80s if I smoked every day. And, I'm planning on getting pretty strong, pretty fit. I want to be sexy and do good dancing and stuff like that. I was listening to Magdalena Bay, Image, remixed by Grimes, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fucking hot. And when I was dancing on acid, I was like, yeah, you're fucking hot, dude. I was like, just remember that you're fucking hot. And I was like, oh yeah, and I started dancing really good. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, yes, I love you too, Dance Girl. Thank you for telling me. And otherwise, I'm not going to just say I love you to people as a blanket statement all the time. I might treat it as a rare treat. And, to make it better. And so